The hallmark of royalty spans beyond the throne and the crown. It thrusts deeper than the lineage of blood. Service to the people is its burden. And while the people adore their king, very few kings adore their people. One of such kings was the immortal Ndidem, His Majesty Ntoe Ika Ika Oqua II. Born in 1878 to Ntoe Ika Ika Oqua I, he reigned the most prominent Qua king and paramount chief of old Calabar province, reigning from 1938 to 1966. As an Odidem, a prince, he wore an Oharabonatui, a hat, and sat on a stone during meetings while others stood, a privilege of royal lineage. 21st May 1938, the prince was coronated with the church royal rites performed at Big Qua Presbyterian Church, Calabar. It is one thing to sit on the throne and another to stand for your people. Ntoe Ika Ika Oqua II did both. In 1939, he summoned the first Pan Ejagham Conference in Big Qua Town, where he was made the chairman of the Ejagham Conference. In November 1941, he was nominated a member of the Calabar Native Court of Appeal in the presence of the Muri, Etubums, and chiefs from Qua, Efot, and Efok Native administration. Remarkably, in 1944, Ntoe Ika Ika Oqua II trekked from Calabar to Ikom to attend the next Pan Ejagham Conference hosted in Ikom. His dedication to the Pan Ejagham cause remained consistent, as in 1947 the king achieved a similar feat when he trekked to Cameroon in the Mamfe district of the Cameroons for another Pan Ejagham conference. Ejagham said jigi jigi nea jigeji. A king who valued his people was no other than Ntoe Ika Ika Oqua II. He was an all-rounded king. Apart from being a revered ruler, Ntoe Ika Ika Oqua II was also a great politician who introduced the great party, the National Conference of Nigeria and Cameroon (NCNC), to Calabar in particular and Eastern Nigeria in general. He also introduced the prominent female politician Margaret Ekpo to NCNC. His nobility was never unnoticed within and without. June 6, 1949, His Majesty Ntoe Ika Ika Oqua II was presented with a certificate of honor by King George VI of England. In 1950, the king was presented with a certificate of honor, member of the Most Excellent Order of the British Empire, MBE, the third highest ranking order of the British Empire Award, and a medal, MHC, by Her Majesty, Queen of England, which read, "For his valuable services rendered to his people and country." In 1964, Ntoe Ika Ika Oqua II was awarded the Nigerian National Award, Member of the Niger, MON, by the federal government of Nigeria. On February 8, 1956, His Majesty was the only Calabar king who received His Highness, the Duke of Edinburgh, and Her Majesty, Queen Elizabeth II of England, on their visit to Calabar. In 1957, Ntoe Ika Ika Oqua II was nominated as the first-class paramount chief of the Calabar province, comprising of Abak, Eket, Eniong Creek Town, Uyo, Ikot Ekpene and Opobo in the Eastern House of Chiefs in Enugu before the state creation bid. In 1959, Ntoe Ika Ika Oqua II was the chairman of the Calabar Urban Development Council. His Majesty Ntoe Ika Ika Oqua II was elected into the Antiquities Commission of Nigeria by the Nigerian federal government. In 1964, Ntoe Ika Ika Oqua II, among other paramount chiefs, was the first president of the Rotary Calabar Urban Development Council. As an active nationalist and Pan-African-oriented king at the time, Ntoe Ika Ika Oqua II attended the 1954 Richards Constitutional Conference in London to discuss Nigeria's national conference. May-June 1957, His Majesty Ntoe Ika Ika Oqua II, alongside Margaret Ekpo, was in the league representing Eastern Nigeria's NCNC to negotiate Nigeria's independence in the Lancaster House Conference in London. The achievements of Ntoe Ika Ika Oqua II are not only great, but remain ever inspiring. Sadly, every beginning must have an end, but even the end is a new beginning. In September 1966, His Majesty Ntoe Ika Ika Oqua II passed on, but his death was kept secret following Ejagham tradition until his funeral in 1967. He was immortalized as a fellow in the old Cross River State Who is Who. 2 streets in the state housing estate in Calabar were named after him. Ika Ika Oqua Market on Didemosangiso Road, Big Qua Town, Calabar, was named after him. His Majesty Ntoe Ika Ika Oqua II remains the hallmark of royalty. He remains the one true Ejagham king who served beyond his lands. Ntoe Ika Ika Oqua II shall live forever.
With one song, with one voice, we're a nation undivided and void. We will take a stand and build our land in faith to defend what